right, now we always talk about Donald Trump and why hasn't he spelled out his plans. He was on the USS Iowa yesterday, Port of Los Angeles, and a lot of people thought he was going to have a grand plan for our military and what to do. Well, he had some grand words and grand gestures, but he didn't really come up with too many details. He promises that he is going to come up with a tax plan, maybe not as detailed as Jeb Bush's. But then I was thinking, well, wait a minute. The candidates who have offered specific plans have not been richly rewarded in the polls. And then I thought of my friend Evan Thomas, who's one of the best historians I know, certainly presidential historians, wrote a great book. I urge you very much to read it, Being Nixon. And I was thinking, Evan, a lot of people have made it to the White House with going short on details. What do we make of that?
Yeah. Look, I think most presidential campaigns are not about the issues or programs or plans. They're about character. What voters are looking for, what they're trying to get a feel for by these debates and any other way, is whether the person's presidential, whether they like him or her, how they feel about how that person cares about them. These are kind of intangible things. It's not your program on taxes or defense or anything else. People, offer these programs, but then they forget about them. Or typically they get in office and they make promises they can't keep or Congress won't go along with. So it's really not about programs. It's about people, the personalities, the character of the candidates.
Well, they do put out position papers. I know Barack Obama, he didn't surprise anyone by wanting to push health care. The details came later. But I think Bill Clinton, who was campaigned on a middle-class tax cut, quickly reversed it as soon as he was in office.
Right.
So they don't hold you to that. But the rap against Trump, as I'm sure you're aware of, is that he has offered none of the above, not even a broad platform, just make America great again. How long can he get away with that?
Yeah, I mean, he is seat of the pants. He's clearly, and that's part of his charm in a way, is that he's kind of making it up as he goes along. On taxes, he's talked about fair taxes and flat taxes and progressive taxes. I mean, which is it? So eventually he's going to have to get more specific. Couple of weeks. But does he have to? He might be looking at what's happened to those, like Chris Christie, who offered a plan on trimming Social Security, or Jeb Bush, a very, very cerebral plan on dealing with taxes, whether you like the guy or not, or Chris Christie or not. And they're not doing anything. Yeah, they're not, because I don't think that's what the voters are looking for, because they know politicians make a lot of this stuff up.
When do they look at it?
I think, a year from now, maybe a year from now, people cared that Ronald Reagan wanted to boost defenses and he wanted to cut taxes. Issues can be important, certainly in the fall of an election year. But, man, we are way out from that. And even if you did make a plan, people wouldn't believe it. I mean, you just mentioned cerebral plans from Jeb Bush. Well, people aren't paying attention.
I was thinking of Ronald Reagan when you mentioned, obviously it's going to be at the Reagan Library. And, of course, it was George Bush Sr. who said it was voodoo economics, his plans to drastically reduce taxes and spur the economy along. And obviously we know what happened. Reagan chose him as his running mate and vice president, and we know what happened there. But the fact was that all the attacks, like Teflon, nothing stuck.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Reagan, people are voting for your character, what they sense about your character. He looked like a guy who was going to make America great again.
What about Trump?
He pretty much carried through.
Does he fit that to you?
Nah, Trump is trickier. I mean, I think Trump is still more of a protest vote at this stage. I know he's getting more real. I know the polls show, 39% or something, think he actually, can be elected. So he is getting more real. But I think
by the way,
still
Trump
more
just
of a populist protester.
Trump just tweeted on their critical comment, you could tell Evan Thomas he can stick it. No, I'm kidding. He didn't say that. But he is fast with these responses. But how long does that last, that kind of approach, in your face, nasty tweets, saying what he did about CNN today, that the debate is way too long and all that? How long, or does that magic die off?
Well, it's a good show. I mean, we're enjoying it. Millions of us are going to watch.
Absolutely right.
I think he's stirring the pot. It's fun. He's made. But if nothing else, he's made politics fun again. My guess is until voting time this winter, it's going to get more serious. There's going to be a culling and weeding out. People are going to wait for Trump to implode. Supposedly he's going to just sort of blow himself up. Hadn't happened yet. I think it's going to get more serious come the winter. But you know what? I'm guessing. Trump has confounded our expectations so far. Maybe he'll keep on surprising us.
Yeah. Well, that guessing, whatever you want to call it, my friend, makes you a great writer, great historian, good reader, people. I always appreciate you stopping by. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Neil. Appreciate it.
All right, Evan Thomas. All right, now we